From southern India, Andhra Pradesh. From eastern India, West Bengal. From western India, Madhya Pradesh. From northeastern India, Assam. From the Union Territories, Delhi. And now, the overall best performers in 2019. Third place, Telangana. Second place, Uttar Pradesh. And the winner is Andhra Pradesh. The Business Reform Action Plan has galvanized New India, and the commitment shown by the states and union territories has propelled this initiative to a whole new level as other nations are now looking to replicate this model in their countries. The next edition of the Business Reform Action Plan includes path-breaking enhancements to the BRAP methodology, including performance-linked borrowing to incentivize states and union territories, district-level action plans to bring reforms to grassroots levels. New India leads the way yet again.
Ma'am, may I please request you to deliver your keynote address?
Thank you very much. My colleague and the Minister for Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal ji, Chief Ministers of different states who have come to participate, the Lieutenant Governors, Ministers Hardeep Puri and also Som Prakash ji, industry ministers from various states, business leaders, chambers of commerce which are represented here. I'm extremely happy to participate in this fourth edition of State Business Reforms Action Plan, wherein, based on public opinion and also the responses from the ground, rankings of states are annually done. I congratulate the Department of Industry and Internal Trade, DPIIT, for consistently maintaining the standard with which these rankings are done, and also improving upon the parameters with which you rank. Particularly this year, where you have really given emphasis for states being responsive and also receptive to those inputs which are coming from the ground, just so that you're able to make sure that the reform action that you're taking are actually felt in the ground. This one major step, I think, making it as a part of the ranking itself, is indicative of the fact these are not exercises just for the pedagogy of the activity, but more to actually take the benefits down to the grassroots and to those beneficiaries who are the makers of India, because they are the ones who are building the economy. So I extend all my commiserations to the DPIIT for the hard work they've done. And in this particular instance, I've noticed since last year and the year before that some states have shown extraordinary energy in being able to put all the action plans together and make sure reforms happen. Some states which have done extraordinarily well, not those particularly which are ranked, yes, are doing, but there are also others who are doing irrespective of the fact that their ranking might go up or down, but making sure that their objective of wanting reforms to take a pace and move at that kind of a pace which will actually make a difference is noticed every year. So this is also something which we need to be very proud about, that states have taken the spirit behind this business reform action plan in its true sense. It's healthy competition that we are building. not a competition which is prying upon one another or trying to run past the other, but in a way trying to build a competitive spirit among states so that what are we competing about? To make our state a better place for businesses to come and do more business in the state. So competing for that, competing for improving that is a very positive step, and therefore to be ranked on it, I think is a very healthy sign of a good competition. 1 minute I would like to go back to the announcements of Atmanirbhar. All our honorable ministers have mentioned that. Atmanirbhar package, when it came through during the times of COVID, when we wanted to extend a lot of hand-holding and help to sectors which needed it, the Prime Minister took it as an opportunity to make sure that this challenge of COVID doesn't make us sit with a sense of worry, but on the contrary, took it as a moment of opportunity. And that is one of the reasons why every Atmanirbhar announcement was also packaged with a very strong and distinct reform announcement. Every announcement which came to help the situation at a time of pandemic was also an opportunity to make India a far more honestly in reform mode country. So this commitment for reform is both with the central government and with the state governments, and that is the reason why I think India's commitment to reforms is taken seriously by investors abroad, and they take India to be a very desirable destination. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing good amount of FDI coming even during the pandemic time, when India, which many of our critics would say had one of the strictest lockdowns. Notwithstanding that, we've had very good inflow of FDI, and that is because as a destination, India with all its states stands out as a law-abiding but yet a very good destination for investment. And in this, I think Atmanirbhar should be understood, and I think a lot of us do speak about it, is not for making India inward-looking. Self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar India, is more for us to build on our strengths. And that is one of the ways in which we can become competitive, and even more competitive, better competitive, to be able to face the world and meet with export competition. And that is why it is important that for all of us to understand Atmanirbharta as building on our strengths, making sure that our strengths are really honed, sharpened enough to be able to stand by us and make us a better economy, so that our exports are better priced, our exports are better in quality, and our exports definitely show the Indian skill in making things to the perfection. So I appreciate all the states which are taking a lot of steps towards this business reform action plan. I congratulate the top 3 states, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Telangana, for having consistently kept on the track of reforms. Also West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh and also Delhi, which is from the Union Territory, all of whom have performed in their respective regions also very well. And I'm sure this competition is only going to get healthier, and more reforms will be set rolling in the years to come. I wish all the states and also the DPIIT all the very best in the future endeavors too. Thank you for having me here today.
नवीन भारत के निर्माण को व्यापार के अनुकूल बनाया जा सके, यही आत्मनिर्भर भारत का सारांश है. The spirit of competitive federalism is now reaching every state and district of this country, transforming how India does business. May I request Shri Shailendra Singh, Additional Secretary, Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Honorable Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal, Honorable Lieutenant Governors and Honorable Chief Ministers of States, Honorable MOS for Civil Aviation and Housing Urban Affairs, and for Commerce Industry, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri ji, MOS for Commerce Industry, Shri Som Prakash ji, Principal Secretaries, Chief Secretaries, and Secretaries of the States and distinguished members of the press. On behalf of Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, I am grateful to Madam Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister for having graced the launch of the State's Doing Business Assessment Report. In her keynote address, she mentioned that she envisages Atmanirbhar Bharat to unshackle the regulatory environment and create a conducive business environment in the country. In 2009, the World Bank Group did a subnational ranking with 17 states. In 2015, DPIIT started assessment of the state's business environment in all the states and UTs. The State Business Reform Action Plan is evolving since 2015 with added business reform action points every year. It is heartening to see that comparatively lesser industrialized states have fared well in the last few rankings. In 2015, 32 states and UTs participated, and the average score was just 32%. In 2019, the number of states have increased to 33, and the average score is now 62%. I would also like to thank all the participating states and their distinguished dignitaries for their diligent efforts towards success of implementation of business reform action plans over the years. We feel privileged that you have joined the session. I would also like to thank the World Bank Group and members of the press for their support. We acknowledge their esteemed presence in this session. At the end, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude for everyone who has contributed towards making this session a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your invaluable time today, and thank you very much for joining us. Have a wonderful day ahead.